Welcome into this week's edition of the MCT Podcast. We are back full strength, got the whole squad here. Michael back in action. Tade coming in Friday night vibes. We are ready to go on this Friday, I believe. We are looking at July 16th in our year 2021. Guys, it's been a fun week of sports. We got a lot to get into, and I'm really excited. But first and foremost, how are y'all doing? How's your week so far? How are you hanging in there?
Chris, I am doing fantastic. No, Tade, you had your turn last week. It's my turn.
You weren't here.
I would have been doing so much better if Conor McGregor would have won last night, but things just couldn't really seem to snap into place, you know?
Last week. Yeah.
Last week.
You mean
last
like
week?
six?
It was
You
last
mean
week?
like 6 days ago?
Yeah, you're kind of
Shut
behind
up.
on the times.
Shut up. Look, I know it's been a while since I've done this. It's been 2 whole weeks.
Jeez.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But no, Chris, I am doing fantastic.
Anymore.
Tade,
Good.
how
Glad
are
to
you
hear
and the
it.
country doing today?
Poor England. You know, at least Messi won on Saturday last week. That was good for them at least. Good for Messi. Poor England though.
Did he get
I
paid
wanted
too?
the memes. Yeah, he got a new contract with Barcelona.
Yep.
He took a pay cut, which was odd. But
Is it though? Doesn't he have like $1 billion
yeah, he's rich as hell.
by this point? Yeah. he doesn't
Ronaldo
care.
has $1 billion. LeBron's gonna be the next billion-dollar athlete. That's
I
still
saw
current.
that.
I think Messi
Yep.
doesn't have $1 billion only because he had to
I'm
pay
not gonna-
taxes.
I'm not gonna lie. Am I the only one surprised that LeBron isn't already a billionaire?
With all the media deals and stuff and the movie deals, yeah, I'm a little surprised too.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Shout out Space Jam
surprised
too.
because like he goes in on these companies and stuff a lot with his like buddies, so he
Yeah.
has to share the wealth.
I think it further shows how just kind of how much money $1 billion actually is. Like if a guy like LeBron, who has been the face of a professional sport for damn near 2 decades now,
Mm-hmm.
just now is about to hit $1 billion, like that's insane. I don't
Don't
know.
forget
That's,
he owns
to me,
Blaze Pizza. He was a big investor in that.
I love Blaze Pizza. Is he
It's
really?
solid. Yeah. He was.
It's
he was
so
one,
good.
He was one of the early investors for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's hilarious. It is so good though. We go to that one. We go to that one down in Fishers. Pretty much anytime we head downtown, like down to like Indy or anything like that. If we think about it,
I
that's
live in a
usually one
good
of our-
city, so I have one in town. It's only
Well, you
the
know
worst
where I'm-
location, but like
Well, you know where I'm coming. Well, you know where we're going next time I'm up there. Then why have we not gone there the last 3 times?
it's literally right by Purdue Fort Wayne too. So like I don't get it either.
I actually have no idea what this is.
Fair.
Blaze
I have no
Pizza.
Blaze Pizza.
Okay, here. Wait. This is sponsored advertising. Blaze Pizza. Please send us.
Well,
the
you're not
coupons.
sponsored. Please sponsor us.
Yes.
Free pizza
That would
sounds
be
amazing.
fantastic. That would be fantastic.
It's like hot and ready pizza they make like immediately in front of your face. So it's like
basically,
you know,
yeah. It's like personal brick oven pizzas.
Ooh,
It's the Chipotle
Yeah.
of pizzas.
Yeah, essentially,
Ooh.
it's really good.
Yeah.
And you
The
you literally
drinks
go
are good
down.
too.
The drinks are pretty good. They're funky. I always like that. They'll have like pomegranate lemonade and stuff. Like weirdly interesting stuff.
Yeah. they're good
but yeah.
sodas.
Yeah. They're really good, Michael. If you've never been, or viewers, if you guys have never been and you're around the Indiana area, go find a Blaze Pizza by you. You will not regret it. It's a nice meal.
Or the
And yeah,
Miami.
like I
area.
said, it's a
so
little.
we're going with you when we visit Tade then.
It's
We
a
gotta go to
little.
this.
It's a little. You can get like basically, like I said, like a personal pan, brick oven pizza, and you just go down the assembly line and watch them. If I usually just build my own and throw on 3 toppings or whatever, and you just watch them grab the dough, throw the sauce on, toppings, cheese, throw it in the oven. 5 minutes later, pull it out, and it's
Yeah.
So-
it's really quick.
yeah, it is super quick. For obviously making it literally in front of your face in a brick oven, it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
So let us recap our picks of the week from last week. I will go first. I took a chance and I went with the National League stopping the bleeding and ending the losing streak in the MLB All-Star Game. That unfortunately did not happen. The AL once again comes away victorious. I believe it's now 8 in a row for the American League. So pretty wild when you think about it. And it's kind of crazy just because the talent disparity is really not, it's not that it's not like the AL is the Goon Squad, and you've got the Monstars, and the NL is this kind of ragtag team of nobodies. I mean, they're on paper, they're almost always pretty evenly matched talent-wise. Yeah, in the AL, you have guys like Trout and stuff. But again, it's baseball. One guy doesn't usually win it. I mean, so it's just interesting that one league over the other can find a way to win 8 in a row and like 15 out of the last 20 when it's pretty on paper, usually a pretty even matchup. I think the final this year was, I want to say 5-2 without looking it up. Does that sound about right? I think the NL got their runs off. I know Real Musso hit a home run. I'm not sure actually how they got their second run.
Vladdy hit a home run and also had a
yes.
Oh, NL. Sorry, I'm tired. But
so Vlad Guerrero Jr. becomes the youngest. We'll talk about all this, but yeah, Vlad Jr. became the youngest All-Star Game MVP. So shout out to him, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But yeah, my pick did not hit this week. We tried, like I said, to take a chance, go with the NL, and failed miserably. Sad music noise. Who wants to? Tade, what did you pick last week? Michael, who'd you have? Yeah, you were off the air. I don't remember. Oh, I remember what you did.
Yeah, he picked a home run derby winner, and
I picked Joey Gallo to win the home run derby, and we're not going to talk about him getting eliminated in the first round.
He made it pretty far, right? He got out of the first round at least. I mean, he got in the semifinals.
Yeah, championship round. Went up against Pete Alonso.
We kept making fun of you for that. We said, "Oh yeah, don't pick him to win it all."
Oh, we totally did.
Ohtani to win it, and Shohei Ohtani didn't win it.
Yeah, but we totally did. We totally made fun of you just in general, because I was like, dude, you're taking a 1-in-8 shot. I don't care who you're picking. Like, you're taking a one versus the field shot instead of just a game where at least it's 50-50. You're like, no, my odds, let's make it 1 out of 8. I got this.
We're going to give you extra points if it actually happened, but Pete Alonso's gone, so it doesn't matter.
True.
Alonso hit a kid with a 106-mile-an-hour line, was bopping the entire time, and then just walked it off like nothing even happened. The kid's a monster.
Yeah, dude. We'll go into all of it because I've got a couple of things to say about him specifically in that home run derby. So we'll get into that. Tade, what was your pick last week, bud?
My pick, I thought England would win 2-1 against Italy.
Sure.
In the Euro final. Turns out that didn't happen, which was good. However, it went to an ecstatic penalty shootout, which didn't turn out well for England, and then turned horrible for race relations in the United Kingdom based off TikToks, which was very unpleasant to see. But good for Italy, because they are the champions of Europe, stopped England from winning both Eurovision and the Euros. So we'll take that victory. Michael, it's not that big of an upset because I still said Argentina was going to win.
It's still just funny because I wasn't even watching. I could just tell by Twitter that something bad happened in England because everyone was freaking them out.
Oh, dude,
I mean, I was glad they lost, but
it was.
I bet on that.
It got real interesting there for a minute, and you don't worry, everybody. We will go into all of that. Tade's got his own little blocked out segment to talk soccer this week. We're throwing him a little bone, so it'll be exciting.
Yep.
But I want to get into that MLB All-Star Weekend because, first off, I love MLB All-Star Weekend. I will say I think it is second behind NBA's All-Star Weekend. But that's really, I think, because the NBA just puts on more events. They just, they spread it out. They do a lot more things. And they obviously do a wonderful job making it an entire weekend's worth of things, where the MLB All-Star Game is, I mean, like this year, it's always interesting that they do it on a Monday and a Tuesday. And then, NBA All-Star Weekend is legitimately the weekend. They'll do it Friday through Sunday. Mm-hmm. So obviously, they book the primetime weekend slots, and MLB kind of, still gets that primetime spot, but it's on a Monday and Tuesday. So it's just a little different, little lesser. But this All-Star Weekend was fantastic. We talked about it a little bit last week, Tade, without Michael. But, the big storyline coming into the All-Star Weekend is the new face of baseball is Shohei Ohtani. And under the lights in Colorado, Shohei Ohtani not only came into the All-Star break leading the league in home runs, on pace, he's also on pace for just about 200 strikeouts in the season and about a 3.5 ERA. He was named the American League starting pitcher. He was named the American League leadoff hitter in the All-Star game. He was going to stay in the game after he pitched. They changed the rules for Ohtani so that he could stay in the lineup after he pitched so he could get some plate appearances. Also, he was in the home run derby. I mean, this guy, this kid, this young man, whatever you want to call him, he's a superstar. And that's what All-Star Weekend was for. And he shined brighter than everybody else this weekend, even though he ended up not winning the home run derby, not being the MVP of the All-Star game. He did get the win for the American League in the All-Star game. But I mean, it's an incredible story to talk about Shohei Ohtani. Michael, I know we kind of fanboy over him a lot. What did you think of Ohtani's first All-Star experience?
Well, the big thing is how surprised I was that Joe Madden just let him off the leash like that. And the big thing that I've kind of noticed is they're kind of realizing that this is the first real talent that we've had since Babe Ruth. Like people our age wondered what Babe Ruth played like. This is as close as we're gonna get. Rick Ankiel doesn't come close to what this kid can do. And the fact that Joe Madden was gracious enough to let him off the leash, keep the bubble wrap off, and let him do his thing is amazing. I would also like to point out, if I may, Stephen A. Smith's comments were like, this kid is the face of baseball. He's not the best player in baseball. He is the face of baseball, though.
Yep. So
this is a kid that's showing globally that it doesn't matter where you came from, you can come in and you can do it, even in an American sport.
Yep. But
I mean, everyone wishes he would have done more, but I mean, it's hard. It's baseball. He wore himself out in that home run derby. It led to it was an epic showdown between him and Juan Soto. Yeah. And I feel that it's not really good to left-handed hitters at all.
Yeah.
And it came down to the wire.
It came down to the wire, and it took, like you said, an incredible effort from Soto just to eliminate him in that first round matchup. It took Soto going 3 for 3 in the second swing off. Basically, in other sports terms, in double overtime, Soto had to be perfect to advance, and he was. I mean, at that point, you tip your cap. It's a home run derby. You're there for fun anyway. There's some bragging rights that come with it, but really, at the end of the day, it's for fun and it's for the fans. So
wish you would have pitched
anybody that wants to take any kind of stock in Ohtani's home run derby and try to diminish what he's doing in the actual season because of what he didn't do in a home run derby is very clearly just grasping at straws and trying to belittle a man who's doing something that more than anybody we've ever seen in our generation, in our lifetime, as you said. On Stephen A's comments, it's unfortunate. The nicest thing I can say about it is unfortunate. It's what happens when you have guys that constantly are saying hot takes for hot take's sake. Eventually they're going to say something that, really doesn't come off in a good light at all. And this was one of those situations. And, he did apologize for it, and, we're kind of moving on from it, but it's still, I don't know. I think it further shows again how sports media looks at baseball as a whole anyway, as lesser than basketball and football and even, to a degree soccer and hockey and things where those are comments that's, very clearly from somebody who's not watching the game this season, because as you said,
they're really good comments because now people care and want to watch about it. So this is great marketing. You're welcome, baseball. You're a dying sport.
There it is. So
can I swear about this really quick? It's been 2 weeks. No, come on.
No.
One.
No.
Damn it.
So,
that's one.
So, I've talked about it before on here last week, as recently as last week with Ohtani and thinking, talking about him potentially being the face of baseball, and however you feel about it, doesn't really matter, because obviously he's doing things that we've never seen before. And what's great about that is, as Michael hinted to, not only is he showing you that you can play this sport in this league coming from any country, from anywhere in the world, not only is he showing you that you can do that, he's showing you that you can do it on the mound and at the plate at this level. So what's important about that is, again, thinking about these 14-year-old high school freshmen that are watching what he's doing this year and saying, hey, I can do that. And then if they start to believe that, and if their managers at the high school and college level start believing that because they're also watching Ohtani right now and saying, well, maybe it can be done, we're going to start getting kids that try this. And that's so crucially important to the future of the game. It's incalculable how important that is to have kids looking up to this guy and also saying, hey, I can do that and take it another step. Because then all of a sudden we're just going to keep seeing prospects and kids come through trying both and actually getting the opportunity to do both at the major league level. And right now that is all because of this one guy. And it's really, 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 really special. Even if you're not the biggest baseball fan, I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed tuning in to watching Shohei Ohtani every night, doing whatever he's doing that night, because it's a show every single time. It's fantastic.
Showtime.
And the last thing I'll say on Ohtani specifically is you talked about, he's coming over from Japan. He actually, before the All-Star break, when he hit his 32nd home run, so he ended the All-Star break with 33, but when he hit the 32nd, he actually broke the record for most home runs in an entire season by a Japanese-born player, and that was Hideki Matsui. It hit 31 in one of the early 2000s years, and he broke that record before the All-Star break. It should just blow your mind. But we had a fun All-Star weekend, even outside of the Ohtani hype. We had a lot of fun storylines. In the home run derby specifically, there's two guys I want to talk about. The first one, I want to talk about Trey Mancini, because the story of Trey Mancini, I cannot wait until we get some kind of 30 for 30 documentary on Trey Mancini's journey from 2019 to 2021, because it's going to be one of the most incredible stories you'll ever see. Because what that man has gone through in the last 2 years, think about what what a normal person, what we've gone through with COVID, and then multiply it by about 100,000. And that's what Trey Mancini has had to go through and then get back to this stage. So if you guys don't know, Trey Mancini was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. Stage 3 colon cancer, diagnosed out of the blue. And that happened like right before COVID hit. So think about going from you're an everyday MLB player, and then boom, you have stage 3 cancer. Boom, the world is in a global pandemic. And then you go through everything, chemotherapy, everything you need to go through for a year plus, dealing with both of those things at the same time. Also trying to keep your body in MLB shape, waiting for potentially another opportunity, the whole time not knowing you're really ever going to play baseball again, and kind of having to put that not even on the back burner, but like having to leave that on the side of the road for a little while, because obviously his health is way more important than baseball ever could have been. So he has to get himself healthy, he has to stay healthy, he has to do all of these things, and then get himself back in game shape, and then get his mental health back in game shape and ready for this whatever regular season we were going to have this year. And then to do all of that, and then to find his way to being an all-star and in the home run derby, and then he finds himself in the final round of the home run derby against the defending champ Pete Alonso, and put up just one hell of a fight. And it took just about everything that Pete Alonso had to beat him. So what an incredible, incredible, incredible story. I mean, a superstar in a different kind of light, and just a superhuman kind of guy. You want to talk about a role model and somebody to look up to for not just what you're doing, in your sport, but obviously outside of it and the way you carry yourself. I mean, that man is an absolute inspiration. So I really just wanted to shout him out tonight, because that is just one of the most incredible stories, we'll ever hear in sports. It really is. It's insane to even try to fathom, what he's gone through in the last 2 years. It's mind-boggling. It really is.
And the other big thing too is you got to think about starting chemotherapy during COVID. He was there by himself the entire time in his own head. And he had to keep himself mentally completely there while battling cancer, and definitely determined to get back onto a baseball field, beat this, get back there, and prove the entire world that it is beatable and that you can go right back to where you want to be with enough hard work, the right people around you. Yeah. And then, I mean, he did fantastic. He definitely blew away a lot of people's expectations. Who were like, oh, it's great that Trey Mancini's in it, but it kind of seems more like a, hey, congratulations, we want to celebrate you a little bit. But you know you're going to get tossed in the first round. Yeah. To have him battle and fight and get to the championship, fantastic. It just took Pete Alonso sacrificing a small child to get there. Shout out to that kid. I hope he's okay, but man, that was a crazy scene.
Yeah. On a much lighter note, let's talk about Pete Alonso. So now he's the back-to-back home run derby champ. He joins Yoenis Cespedes and Ken Griffey Jr. as the only people to ever win back-to-back derbies. So that list is pretty small. It's pretty good company when you're talking about, derby status. But really what I want to talk about with Pete Alonso is how much I am enjoying watching him kind of turn into a WWE heel in the home run derby spotlight. I mean, like, it's so funny to watch him because he carries himself two different ways, like in the regular season and then in the home run derby. Like, he literally the craziest thing to me ever, and the thing that made me laugh harder than anything I saw during the home run derby, was the fact that this man is in the semifinal round against Juan Soto. He goes second. He knows what bar he has to hit. He knows exactly how many home runs he has to hit to eliminate him. He's one short of eliminating Soto, of tying. Well, he's two short of eliminating him. He's one away from tying, two away from advancing. He's got 1 minute and 5 seconds. So he's pretty much got it in the bag. He has 65 seconds plus 30 seconds of bonus time to hit 2 more home runs when he's already hit 15. So he knew he had it in the bag. And this man calls a 60-second timeout just to turn around, pump the crowd up, and literally just bop along to music for 60 seconds. And he's just like, yeah, we know what's up. I'm going back to the finals. We're going to get it. Oh, my timeout's done. All right, get back in the box. Bam, bam. Have a good night, Juan Soto. Good to see you. Thanks for showing up. And just walked off. It's insane. It is a heel move in a sport that absolutely doesn't have heels, that doesn't allow that stuff. That stuff doesn't happen. So to see him turn heel and then kind of like, and then win it all and be flexing and calling himself the best power hitter in the game. I mean, it all felt so WWE to me, and I loved every second of it. I loved every second of watching that man talk his talk, back it up, and then talk some more. It was just fantastic.
That home run derby championship chain too kind of reminds me of that old spinner WWE championship belt back from John Cena's day. Like that immediately reminded me of that.
Dude.
And I think the best part, did you see his interview with ESPN after he eliminated Salvi in the first round? It was just stone cold, super confident. Like, he talked about the bat a little bit, and he got a little like, yeah, this is awesome right here. And it just straight stone cold heel. Like, he flipped the switch, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win this. Like, there's no way about it. And Ken Griffey Jr. is like, you think he's gonna lose? Like even the kid was like, no way.
It kind of almost reminded me of like Larry Bird in the 3-point contest, showing up in sweatpants and saying, hey, who's coming in second? And then coming out and winning the damn thing. I mean, like, that's like, and baseball more than any other sport in the world needs that kind of stuff injected into it. Like, so bad it needs those guys. And it's so interesting and so hypocritical of MLB to, on one hand, promote that stuff and, highlight it all on social media and retweet and tweet out clips and bat flips and all these things. And then, behind closed doors, you still have all the guys that are like, no, you can't be doing that. You're in trouble, Yerman. I mean, whoever
it breaks the rules of the sport, Chris. I'm 80 years old and I'm a coach. I know what I'm talking about.
Let the kids play. Unwritten rules. Let the kids play. Give us money. Put Fernando Tatis on the cover of MLB The Show 21 doing a bat flip, but we can't do bat flips. I mean, it's it's so ridiculously hypocritical.
JoJo Swina is going to save the sport, you guys. Don't worry about it.
At this point, I don't care. I want somebody to save the sport. I don't care who it is. That's fine. Oh my God. Well, because if she would just kill off all the old white men right now. Like, she would.
It's because the owners are trash in MLB. That's why the sport's dying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't even get me.
Shout out to Pittsburgh Pirates.
I don't want to talk about the.
Do they have a horrible owner?
Well, they're just
Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah.
You remember when last time they were good?
They're just a bad organization.
2014.
Basically, yeah, they're just rotten.
Yeah.
That organization is just rotten from the top to the bottom. But yeah, it was a really fun All-Star weekend. All-Star game was great. It had its moments. Obviously, the Vlad Guerrero Jr. 468-foot bomb was big. And he, like I said earlier, the youngest All-Star Game MVP ever. And then what does he do in his post-game interview? All he does is shout out his dad, and it hits you right in the heart. It hits you right in the feels. And then like
love.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
With him and his dad on it, all over it.
Yep.
No.
Yep. I mean, and then to see Vlad Guerrero, I guess senior, tweet about it and put that on social media. I mean, it's also wonderful. And again, stuff that baseball specifically needs, those moments, and that, hit you right in the feels. And yeah, it was just fantastic. And then, seeing the pictures of that Vlad Guerrero Sr. had posted of him at the All-Star game with little Vlad Guerrero Jr. at 8 years old. And he's like, hey, 18, this kid in 15 years is, going to win the All-Star MVP at the, it was just awesome. Freddie Peralta for the Brewers making his first All-Star appearance, striking out the side. Can't ask for much more out of a pitcher coming in the 6th, 7th inning, and striking the side out of the AL All-Stars. So, just it had a fun time, get a lot of moments. So it was a good, successful event. I think for the MLB. The last thing I'll say about it, I was definitely annoyed, as were many Cubs fans, that Chris Bryant was mic'd up and the only things they wanted to talk to him about was all of his trade rumors and, where does he expect to play and what's going on. And the guy's just there with his family for the All-Star weekend. Give him a break. Let him just get a breath of fresh air for a couple days and have some fun playing baseball. But of course, everybody's got to take that away from him too and hound him with questions. Literally, Tade, he was mic'd up on the field being asked questions about trade rumors during the All-Star game while he's playing right field. Like it's so ridiculous to do that. So
like
it was unfortunate.
Before he got traded.
Oh yeah, it's the same. Oh yeah.
When he was in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and Anthony, and oh my God, I can't even imagine Anthony Davis, how he felt. Yeah, because every single day, I mean, it didn't, dude, they went off of, he could wear a t-shirt and, and they blew up about it. And
oh, come on. That t-shirt was very...
It was so good.
First off, it was not an advertisement for Space Jam 2 because he wasn't even cast in it yet. It was a...
Yeah.
That's all, folks. I'm out of here.
It was so good. It was such a perfect shirt. And then to play it off, be like, hey, it's just what I had, man. I didn't do laundry. Like, it's just what, we know, but it's great. Oh,
he knew he was getting cast into Space Jam 2. That's why he wore it, guys. Also, Space Jam 2. Heard it's a good film. Hearing good things.
I have yet to watch it, but your boys got HBO. Your boys got HBO Max, so I get it for free.
So you're gonna share your password, is what you're hearing me.
Well, not on the air, but I'm
give it to the fans. All the fans listening right now.
Don't
you get
forget to add your credit card number.
Yeah.
Let me just go grab that real quick.
It's on the back.
Michael, you got any last minute things on the All-Star weekend before we move on? All right, sounds good.
I mean, what the? No, honestly, it was just hilarious all around. Like the purple carpet, like all the things that Colorado did, and I feel like the game needs to come back to Colorado because everything just seemed like it was just a little bit more electric up there. And
it was fun. It was a good time.
It was one of the better All-Star weekends.
On semi short notice too. Like they did a good job putting it together, and with the restrictions that we still have and stuff. Yeah, Colorado did a great job hosting it. So yeah, it was fun. The only really bad thing I'd say about the weekend was the jerseys. The jerseys were so bad.
Oh, they're so bad. I will say my favorite moment of almost the entire All-Star weekend was during Trevor Story's first round in the home run derby, having Nolan Arenado come down and chat with him a little bit and fire up the crowd. And a lot of people in that crowd were still wearing their Nolan Arenado jerseys. And just an entire environment got a little electric. The crowd was on their side, and he ended up rallying to win that round. Obviously, it didn't end well for him, but he ended up rallying because of that. That was just a really cool moment to see, especially since there's a lot of rumors about Trevor Story being on the trade market now that the All-Star weekend's done. They wanted him to have that moment, but that was still like really cool to see and just kind of feel that in the air. Nolan Arenado coming down and saying like, "Hey, I gotta represent. I gotta help out my dude over here. Help out my boy." So it was just cool to see.
Yeah, no, that is fantastic. And Colorado got, potentially one final glimpse of that duo together on their home field. So that was really cool. You're right, for them. All right, let's get into the NBA finals, guys. Hey, we got a series. Folks. Tade, we talked about it last week, and I don't know if you remember, but I said, even though at the time it was 2-0 Phoenix, I said this final still felt like we had the two best teams in basketball left standing. And if games 3 and 4 proved anything, it's that your boy was right, that we do in fact have the two best teams left standing. And that's what the finals should be. In every sport is you obviously if you're a fan of a team, you want your team there, but at the end of the day, you get the best matchups when you get your two best teams from each conference, league, whatever.
Don't say that. Say Milwaukee's the worst. Say Phoenix is the worst because now Phoenix is gonna lose to get more games.
Say either was the worst.
Doesn't matter. You're jinxing yourself here, Chris. You gotta say one or the other to reverse jinx yourself now. Because now Milwaukee's 2 games away from stealing it from your Suns.
That's true. They are.
If they don't win, Chris, you'll be so sad. Think about it.
I will be very sad.
Your dad will be like,
I'm good either way. He's like, all right. But no, I am pulling for Phoenix. I have been since we started this podcast. I'm still all in on them. I will say, just like I said at the beginning of the finals, this is a dream matchup because if the Suns are to lose to anybody, I'm totally fine with it being
future king Thanius.
So, but I've got some lovely notes here, so we will get into these about I did some research. I got some numbers. I got some stats to go
don't mean
over.
anything, Chris. They don't mean anything.
Well, so they do tell an interesting story, and that's why I went through and did this. So so obviously we're tied up at 2 now. We're heading into Game 5 tomorrow night. Saturday night will be Game 5 back in Phoenix. So Phoenix obviously still with the home court advantage. They've got it's a best-of-3. 2 of them are in Phoenix. If it comes to 7, that'll be back in Phoenix. So we've got a great series. So just to recap real quick, Game 1 and 2 were in Phoenix. Phoenix ends up winning both of those games, 118-105 in Game 1 and 118-108 in Game 2. Game 3, we shift to Milwaukee. Milwaukee blows out Phoenix in Game 3, 120-100. And Game 4 was a nail biter, really close, down to the last minute. Milwaukee ends up getting, the block and a couple clutch plays, and coming away with a 6-point win, 109-103. Before I get into my numbers, what have you guys seen from these 4 games so far in the finals?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I really didn't watch very much of it because I thought basketball was over. I thought the Lakers beat the Nets already, and that was just going to be it. I mean, come on. No, but in all reality, exactly. I mean, we've seen what a lot of people predicted. Milwaukee has proven their struggles on the road cannot continue if they actually want to win this thing. At home, they are a completely other team, and that proves that how real home field advantage really is, or home court advantage, really is during this series, because both teams have performed extremely well. Yes, that last game was really close. Game 4 was really close, but it just proved that there's a whole other feel for either team on their own home court, which is going to make these last few games really crucial. And honestly, Giannis needs to be more consistent, it seems like. Because when he is on it, like it's try and stop him. Seriously, try it.
Yeah.
But it's been really, if Giannis is firing on all cylinders, Milwaukee's probably going to win. And when he hasn't been, and again, it's been on the road, the team tends to struggle mightily. And I just don't know if Giannis can't figure it out in Phoenix, they're not going to win the series. I know Tade was talking a lot of crap earlier about the Suns losing. Like, I just don't see it if he doesn't get that rectified. Because Game 7 would be in Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Exactly. There you go.
5 and 7 will be in Phoenix. 6 will be back in Milwaukee. Tade, what have you seen so far, bud?
Good adjustments by Bud going into this, coming out of the 2-0 deficit for Milwaukee here. Phoenix obviously started off hot, 2 games in the loudest stadium in the NBA. They have a solid all-around team. And then Milwaukee, as Charles Barkley likes to say, are guaranteed. Even though he said they're the dumbest team to go on to the NBA Finals and win because they make so many mistakes. And then you have the fact that Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton are always inconsistent. Thing is, they won 2 games with them still being inconsistent. And then Giannis pulling LeBron, trying to do everything, but then not being able to, but he's still putting up like at least 27 a game. He's put, 2 40-point games up back to back, and then 2 high 20 games, still putting up like 13 rebounds each, and then like 4 blocks. So
don't worry, I got it all here.
Yeah, exactly. So he's doing wild stuff. I mean,
yeah,
as long as at least one of Drew or Chris goes off, and Milwaukee learns how to actually guard DeAndre Ayton and keep him held back, throw Bobby Portis in there just to punch him in the face. Then, I think Milwaukee has a chance here. If they steal one away from Phoenix, then they can win one at home because they have the best home record in the playoffs right now.
Yep.
I think that's a possibility. But then again, if Phoenix just realizes after these 2 games, as long as Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday suck, we're fine. And then they just guard them, then they win. It's a toss-up.
Yeah. So, I mean, it really is. And, this is kind of how the finals are supposed to be. You've got back and forth. You've got good storylines. You have, you can make an argument for team A to win. You can make an argument for team B to win. It feels like anybody's series. And you know what? As much as people might want to bash that these aren't big market teams, if you look at the numbers and who's putting up points, you've got big threes in both teams. And that's what I wrote down here. That's what I've got. So we'll go through them real quick. So game 1, that 13-point Phoenix win in Phoenix. For Phoenix, their big 3 showed up in that game. That was probably their best game as a group, as their big 3 was that game 1. Booker dropped 27. Chris Paul dropped 32, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists. DeAndre Ayton dropped 22 points and 19 rebounds. Like, if you can get that from those guys, I don't care how many Giannis goes out for. He's going to need 70 to beat that 3, plus the role players that Phoenix has and things like that. So that's where Phoenix found their strength in game 1 was obviously those big 3 all showed up and showed out. And, they all dominated the game at different points and took over. It made it too much for Milwaukee to handle. In game 1, if you look at Milwaukee's big 3, Chris Middleton had 29. Drew Holiday had 10, 7 boards, and 9 assists. And Giannis only had 20 points and 17 rebounds. But Giannis was coming off of that hyperextended knee. We had no idea what he was going to look like. And for him to still put up 20 and almost a 20-20 performance was pretty remarkable. You shift to game 2. Again, the big 3 of Phoenix played well. Well, 2 of the 3 did. And then we had a breakout game from one of those role players for Phoenix in Mikal Bridges. And that was what propelled them to that game 2 win. Because in game 2, Devin Booker had dropped 31. CP3 had 23, 4 boards, and 8 assists. DeAndre Ayton only had 10 points and 11 rebounds. So Ayton was kind of the third wheel there, the low man. But Mikal Bridges stepped up and dropped 27 points. Mm-hmm. And off the bench and everything. So again, when you're Phoenix, a guy like that gets hot, that just takes so much more pressure off of your big 3 that it makes the game that much easier. And that was how they were able to withstand a 42-point outburst from Giannis in game 2 in Phoenix. And that also included 20 points in the third quarter, as Tade, you and I mentioned last week. That's the most points in a finals quarter in the last 25 years. So more than Kevin Durant ever scored in the finals in a single quarter, more than LeBron has ever scored in a single quarter in the finals. Giannis did that, and Phoenix still withstood that. So Phoenix took a lot from those two games. And, they had to be feeling pretty good heading into Milwaukee. The other two of the big three in game two, Middleton only dropped 11 points, 6 boards, and 8 assists. Drew Holiday had 17 points, 5 boards, and 7 assists. So again, those two neither of them hit the 20-point mark. That's not what you're looking for more offensive production from those two guys, even with Giannis dropping 42. Then we shift over to Milwaukee in game three. It was a 20-point win for Milwaukee. Devin Booker had his lone off game of the series so far. He only had 10 points. Chris Paul only had 19, and DeAndre Ayton had 18 and 9 boards. Jay Crowder was the reason Phoenix even stayed in this game. He dropped 18 points. He was 6 of 7 from 3 in that game, in game 3. So again, you have a role player, a guy coming off the bench, again, just catching fire. In that game, if one of the big three from Phoenix, wakes up and does what they had done in either games 1 or 2, that score looks a lot different. And who knows, they might have even won that game. But you have to think of the mindset in these 4 games so far. So really, let's be honest, games 1 and 2 in Phoenix had to win those 2, right? They had to come out strong. They had to defend home court, and they did their job. It then becomes 2 must-win games for Milwaukee, because if they drop either of those games, they face elimination back in Phoenix in game 5, and that's trouble. That is, and with that crowd and that stadium, that's trouble. So shout out to them showing up in game 3. Like I said, it was an absolute must-win for them. They punched Phoenix in the mouth, and Phoenix wasn't prepared to respond in the third quarter and fourth quarter. They had 2 big runs that sealed that game away. Chris Middleton dropped 18. Drew Holiday dropped 21. Again, there's Tade, you said, Giannis had back-to-back 40-point games. He dropped 41 in game 3. He did that in that game. In game 3, he did a lot of his work at the free throw line. He was 13 of 17 from the stripe in game 3. So, a lot of fouls, a lot of hard contact, that he took it all and still went to the line, hit 85% of his free throws. Can't really ask for much more out of him at the line. And then you shift over to the other night, game 4. Like I said, 6-point win for Milwaukee. Devin Booker dropped 42 points. Did y'all realize he dropped 42 points without?
Well, it looks like Chris just dropped out. Like Giannis dropped out 40 points, and now he's stuck like this. I was like, did my computer just break? No, Chris just froze. Well, everybody, let's take over this right now since Chris is incapacitated. Oh, he is back now.
Hey,
Chris,
there he
you
is.
may take over.
I'm unfrozen. I broke free. I'm out. So I don't know where I was. We'll just real quick. So game 4.
You were like this.
Yeah, I love it. So game 4, 6-point win for Milwaukee in Milwaukee to tie the series back up. Devin Booker had the game of the finals for himself, dropped 42. Did y'all realize he did that without hitting a 3? He dropped 42 points without hitting a 3. He was 17 of 28 from the field and only 8 of 9 from the free throw line. So he hit 17 shots from 2 from within the arc.
How many was that free throw?
8 of 9.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can't ask for any more out of Devin Booker. Chris Paul had another off game. He only had 10 points, 4 boards, and 7 assists. That's not what you're looking for.
Because Drew Holiday became a better defender because he asked his wife, hey, how do you become a defender? She told him how to be a good one.
Did he drop out again?
He did a little bit there. Don't worry, Chris. I picked it up and told him how Lauren Holiday's teaching Drew Holiday how to be a good defensive player.
There you go. I was just saying that CP3 only had 10 points, 4 boards, and 7 assists. So a really off night for him. And DeAndre Ayton looked really bad. He only had 6 points. He still had 17 rebounds. So he found ways to be involved, but only 6 points. So he only had 16 points from CP3 and DeAndre Ayton combined, and they only lost by 6. So my point is, they actually have to take that as kind of a win. Like, they've got to feel still pretty good coming back to Phoenix, because the odds of, well, and then let me go over Milwaukee's scoring. So Chris Middleton had 40 points in game 4. Drew Holiday only had 13. Giannis dropped 26 and 14 boards. So again, Milwaukee ends up winning by 6, but 2 out of the big three for Phoenix didn't even show up, essentially. They only had 16 points combined. And Chris Middleton dropped 40, and Giannis had 26. They needed all of that just to barely beat Phoenix without 2 of their best 3 playing well in Milwaukee. So Phoenix, even though they've lost these 2 games, I think they still have to feel pretty good coming back home for game 5, because the odds of in Phoenix, CP3 and DeAndre Ayton both having bad games like that again, while Chris Middleton drops 40 or even Giannis drops 26 or more. I mean, it doesn't seem like that's what's going to happen. It doesn't quite feel like that to me. Games 1 and 2, I think were a little more indicative of what we can expect from Phoenix specifically. And if game one taught us anything, like I said, when DeAndre Ayton had 22 and 19, CP3 dropped 32 and Booker dropped 27, when that happens, it's really hard for any team to combat this Phoenix team, because again, they have those 3 guys showing out and, 2 or 3 really key role players coming off the bench in Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Payne, Cameron Johnson. I mean, they have guys that can catch fire and they're lightning in a bottle. So I think it's going to be a fantastic series. But yeah, I just look at those 4 games so far really as both teams have won the games they needed to win. So now we'll see if somebody can steal one, and that's what's going to really decide this one. If Phoenix wins game 5 in Phoenix, they've got to feel fantastic, obviously, going to Milwaukee. I don't think they're going to be afraid going into Milwaukee for game 6 with a chance to clinch it. Now, if Milwaukee steals game 5 in Phoenix and they get to go home with a chance to clinch it, that's trouble, I think, for Phoenix. That's really tough at that point. So, like Tade said, Bud's made great adjustments in these 2 games in Milwaukee, kind of bottlenecking DeAndre Ayton and shutting him down. And they've done really good jobs defensively adjusting to Phoenix's offense. Now we'll see if, Coach Monty Williams of the Suns can kind of readjust and re-energize his team and get them back in the right mindset. I think if you're a Phoenix fan, I don't think you need to panic just yet, because like I said, game 4 was really close and had a chance to do it. And CB3 and DeAndre Ayton essentially didn't show up to the level that we expect them to play. So you kind of take it for what it is. And, it's going to be a fun ride the rest of the way. That's for sure.
Yeah, agreed. I think this is going to be a really good finals overall. Probably with 7 games. What more can you ask for besides not having it on ESPN/ABC? That is really true. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to game 5, and that Phoenix crowd was just insane to watch in games 1 and 2, as was Milwaukee's crowd in games 3 and 4. Obviously, you can tell both of these franchises, their fan base are, foaming at the mouth at the potential of winning it all finally. So stop beating up other crowd members, Chris.
Oh
stop
my God!
it.
Please stop.
Stop it. It's all you guys. It's you people.
PSA. I don't care who it is. Everybody needs to cut that stuff out. That's ridiculous.
Everybody. You mean the Phoenix fans? You say the Phoenix fans.
I will.
It's your guys' fault. You're stuck all over in Arizona. Nobody likes to live there. It's too hot. And you think, we're a big market, but we're a small market team. And you have all that angst. No, Milwaukee's a small market team. Let them have this. Stop beating them up. And Denver fans. Stop beating up Denver fans.
Also, it is not too hot in Arizona. It is a dry heat. You don't feel it past 92.
There was flooding yesterday and today in Arizona. So you're right. Flagstaff is pretty wet. You're right.
Oh my God. You go out the West Coast more than I do. What are you talking about? You know exactly that it's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat. It's still horrible. I mean, human heat is worse, but like.
You think it's worse there than it is here when it's 90, but it feels like 112?
No, I hate human heat more. I'd rather have dry heat.
Oh my God. You just hate it.
It's dry heat all the time.
You just hate everything. Got it.
Here it gets
cold. That's disgusting. Nobody wants the cold. That's gross.
Michael, raise your hand.
Don't raise your hand, Michael. Yeah. Oh my God.
Just kidding. I hate the cold. Fuck the cold. Cold's awful. My fiance will come in here and hit me with that because she loves fall, but no. I prefer the heat. I prefer the warmth. Oh, speaking of, she's coming to the door. Oh, shoot.
Michael, we have one rule on this show. We have one rule.
What's the one rule?
Don't say the F word.
Yeah, Michael.
Whoops.
It's one rule. Oh,
you guys didn't let me get it out with Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, because it's the one rule.
You know what I spent it on? You know what I spent it on? I spent it on the weather, Chris.
Because you're an idiot. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Michael, you're worse than Bill Cosby.
We'll start over. Whoa. All right.
All right, we got way off the rails here.
What Bill Cosby's favorite team is right now. He doesn't watch sports anymore. I doubt it.
Let's not talk about Bill Cosby.
They'd probably be like, we don't want you watching our sport, Bill Cosby. Get out of here. Probably watches boxing.
Tade, I believe it is time for you to talk about our big soccer weekend that we just had. So,
get out of here, buddy.
I'm going to take a breather. Did a whole lot of talking there. So I'm going to take a breather and I'm going to learn. We're all going to learn something in Tade's soccer corner today. So
soccer actually has had a really good it's happening right now. So in America, at least, we all get to watch Copa America. We get to watch the Euros, and then we get to watch our own soccer. So starting off on this past Saturday, we had Argentina versus Brazil, and this becomes Messi's first international trophy he's brought home. And just like Ronaldo did in 2016 when Portugal won the Euros, Messi was ecstatic. This is the highest level of trophy he's won ever. And this comes after a long spat with the national team in Argentina where he's retired and come back and retired again and come back just because of the frustration with the team and its management because of their organization's run by cokeheads, essentially. Which is why Maradona does coke on the sideline before he died. Soon, but not too soon, and it happens. If you guys can look up videos of Maradona being a coach and doing lines on the sideline.
Oh my God.
I'm literally Googling this right now.
That's how much of an addict he was. And that's who they put in charge of the Argentinian national team at one point. Cool. He was a great soccer player. Don't give it to the guy who's a cokehead. There's a reason.
Yeah, you would think that'd be a pretty obvious. You think that would be a pretty obvious rule, but
I know, right? But Messi's ecstatic. He took a pay cut with Barcelona now because of this. Is so happy for him. He's achieved one of his goals, being good with the national team. It'll be talked about forever now because Copa is really big in South America, obviously.
Yeah.
And they beat Brazil. Neymar, his enemy, arch rival now in the South America. So everyone's happy in South America, at least Brazil lost. So good for Argentina winning. Over the pond for the Euros, we had the final between England and Italy. And luckily, Italy won. Unfortunately, I lost my bets, but luckily Italy won, so we don't have to hear anything from the British. Or just the English in this case. Right? Yeah, it's worth the loss of money. It was a good game. Went to penalties. England fudged up the penalties. See, Michael, that's how you use the words. You say fudged.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, they fudged up the penalties. They got a lot of hate for it online, and then the English team was like, if you're going to talk smack, that's not about soccer, get out of here, which is great. Italy pulled some fouls that should have been called for red cards at least to give England a better chance. They weren't. But Italy really was the underdog of this tournament. They weren't supposed to get this far, and they won it all. So, great for them. On the American side now. Oh, go ahead.
So let me ask you something. So you said Italy was the underdogs of the whole tournament. They weren't expected to go this far, and then they won it all. In NBA terms, what team, what level of underdog is Italy?
So think about this.
Who do they compare to?
Think about Miami Heat last year getting to the finals when they weren't expected to get to the finals. It's like that kind of unexpected. They weren't Macedonia, who would be comparable to the Cavs of right now getting
Okay.
to the finals. Like Macedonia is like that kind of level. They were like, everyone's like, oh, we like Macedonia. They're so harmless. They'll be the best team ever. We want you to win. It wasn't like that kind of harmless.
Okay.
But it was like they were competitive enough to be a decent team to get there all the way. Because they beat good teams to get there. They beat Spain. They beat Denmark.
Okay. Oh. I was just curious what level, like what kind
Belgium.
of comparable level of underdog. So would you say it would be like you said? I mean, the Heat. That's a good example. That's an easy one to picture. But so is it like kind of like Atlanta then this year?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. If you forget the start of Atlanta, just like in the playoffs.
Right. Okay. I mean that's fair.
And right now,
I was just curious.
Yeah. And right now, the Gold Cup is going on. That's the North American, Central America Cup and Caribbean. U.S. has faced so far Haiti and Martinique. I believe it's the country's name. Let me pull it up. I always forget how to say it. Martinique, yeah. So island country. We creamed Haiti. We creamed Martinique. Canada creamed Martinique. And we face Canada coming up on Sunday, which should be fun. We're throwing our C teams. So, like, if we're throwing in our bench, we're throwing our bench at these teams, at these countries. Because it's the group stage.
Okay.
Canada and us are at the top of the leaderboards right now in our group, which is like 4 countries. So we're doing fine.
Sure.
We're going to come out on top. We're going to go to the next round. But this is a good time for our bench players to get through. Surprisingly, Qatar, the Middle Eastern country who's going to be hosting the World Cup, is in this tournament because they're the World Cup invite. So they can get some more experience with some easier opponents because they would lose to their Middle Eastern and Asian opponents pretty easily because they're not a good team. They're like readily made as of the past couple years.
So it's almost like maybe they shouldn't be hosting the World Cup.
It's almost like they're not a soccer country and you have to make the World Cup in the winter because it's so hot over there. Because it's a dry heat, Chris.
Yeah.
We're back to this somehow.
It'll be fine.
I drag that over. Because soccer games in the snow are the best soccer games. So why can't the U.S. World Cup be in the winter so we get snow games? And then we can beat Costa Rica again in the snow. And they'll complain, we had to play in the snow. And we're like, so did we. Welcome to Colorado.
Yeah. No, the snow. Dude, American football is bad enough in the snow. I can't imagine actual football in the snow. It sounds terrible.
That'd be
the best
great.
game ever. It was like a foot of snow, and they just kept playing it. It was wonderful. They were all in the short sleeves, short shorts. And I was just like, yes, get frostbite. Let's go.
No, it sounds terrible. It sounds so bad.
We want
frostbite.
I do have a soccer question for you, Tade. So, one of the big things that I saw on Twitter after the Euro Cup finals was a couple of tweets and threads and debates that basically were about how soccer games shouldn't be ended on penalty kicks. That they don't like penalty kicks. They think it's a poor man's way to end a game. So I'm curious, if you and Michael, we can talk about this too. We just have, I figure, a little less soccer knowledge. But do you agree or disagree? And then B, how would you maybe like to end soccer games if not for penalty kicks?
So anybody that says penalty kicks are bad are dumb because you have 120 minutes of soccer to score an extra goal so you don't get tied. They can do like a golden goal type of rules, like next goal wins. You just continue the game until it happens. But that can drag on forever. Penalty kicks for final games like this, I think, are good. Unless you want to do like have 2 games, 1 home and 1 away, and just go off aggregate. But again, it's kind of not suspenseful and it's kind of boring and it kind of takes away like having home field advantage. In MLS Cups, you don't really end. Well, you don't end on penalty kicks during the regular playoffs for the MLS Cup. In the final, you can because it's only one game. You get a home game if you're the better team. And then it can end on penalty kicks, which is fun. Penalty kicks are suspenseful. Your point is to literally score a goal.
Yeah.
That's the entire point of the game.
Yeah.
What more do people want? I feel like people who complain about penalty kicks are just they're purists, in my opinion. They're like people in baseball say, "Oh, this is taken away from the game." No, penalty kicks have been around forever, and they make the game fun. So I don't get it.
I mean, not only do they make the game fun, in my opinion, that there's almost nothing more like dramatic and thrilling and what that in all of sports. In all of sports, there is nothing like a penalty kick to decide a game that decides a cup final, the World Cup, whatever it is.
It's like hockey. Hockey has penalty shootouts too. You want to be like baseball or the NBA and just keep going overtime to overtime to overtime, overtime to overtime to overtime to overtime to overtime to overtime to overtime.
Yeah, eventually it does get a bit saturated, and kind of watered down to where if you culminate it all into one moment, I mean, it's drama filled however it plays out. Yeah, if you are a diehard fan of a team and it comes to that point and you lose, it sucks. That hurts to go through 2 hours of soccer and be right there and then to fudge it on penalty kicks. Like there's almost no hurt like that. But at the end of the day, there's two things in my opinion that lend themselves to why penalty kicks are good. The first one is what I just said, how dramatic that and innate that moment is on and of itself. B, you have to end the game somehow, some way. You have to decide a winner. Yeah. It is ridiculous. I mean, it's so easy for a reporter or somebody in the media or whatever to be like, well, just play until you score. Yeah. I was like, that's a non-athlete's mindset, in my opinion. That's somebody who doesn't understand what 120 minutes on your legs running can do to you. Yeah. And then to just have somebody above you just being like, well, just keep going until you score. Like, that's insane. That's an insane mindset. And it just doesn't work. Yeah. Like, I would so much rather watch, relatively fresh legs kick 5 penalty kicks than somebody in the 200th minute score because they're the ones that can move their body and the other people can't. Like, at that point, you're just like literally just dragging down the field, down the pitch, and you're going to count. And that's a more pure goal to you to decide a title than penalty kicks. I don't think so. Yeah. So I thought the whole thing was a little ridiculous. That I mean, soccer in and of itself needs a way to do that. Hell, Craig and I have, to each other advocated MLB ending their games with a home run derby after the 13th inning. Dude, screw it. You got 13 innings to score runs and you can't do it. All right, get a BP boy out there, get your power bats. Y'all get 5 swings. Let's go and be done with it. Football. We're after 2 overtimes. We're going to end in a tie. Nah, we're getting our field goal kickers out here and we're kicking until somebody misses. We're starting at 25 and then we're going to 30 and we're going to 35 and 40 and whoever misses, that's it. Let's give the field goal kickers a little more pressure.
The poor Vikings fans, the poor Seahawks fans. Gosh.
Oh, Seahawks fans are fine. They still got the Hail Mary and they're fine. They'll be all right.
It equals out.
Yeah. Basketball? Oh, you want to go into 6 overtimes? Nah, don't give me that. 3-point shootout. Give me a free throw contest.
I was gonna say go 3v3. Have like a 3v3 matchup like hockey does.
Dude, give me a 1v1 to 5. Oh, bro.
Oh,
that'd be entertaining.
Fine,
dude. After 3 overtimes, give me 2. Give me 2 overtimes, and then a 3v3 or a 1v1.
If you had to do a 1v1, say like Pacers versus, let's go, Nuggets. How would that work out? Who would you pick?
So here's the
Sabonis
thing too.
Versus Jokic.
Well, here's the thing. If we're going to go down this rabbit hole, let's go down it. So in this situation, here's how I think it plays out. If you're the home team, so let's say in that situation, the Pacers or Nuggets, The Pacers are the home team. We've played 2 overtimes. Nobody's fouled out.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to a 1v1 first to 5. 1s and 2s. 1s and 2s first to 5. No, we don't play win by 2. We just first to 5.
Yeah, first to 5.
1s and 2s. Yeah. If you're the home team, here's your home field. Here's your home court advantage. You pick second. So you get to see who Denver puts up, and then you match up. So Denver puts up Jokic. He's played 45 minutes. They'll put up Jokic. You know what? If I'm the Pacers at that point, I put up Miles.
Oh, I was going to say put up
Turner.
Warren.
Nah, you got to think he's got to
defend.
because you have to think he's got to defend. It's not just who can score. He's got to
Michael,
defend.
you putting Sabonis still?
I'd probably still go with Sabonis.
Okay.
However, I would also be better. I think it'd be more dramatic. Both teams don't know who's picking. It's just a little you send them both out there and go all right, who'd you both pick? And then they both just walk out together. And next thing you know, it's
3 players walk out and then 2 walk away.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh yeah, no. We'll do that. Do it that way. You put up 3, and then Indy gets to eliminate 1, and then Denver eliminates 1. So you put up. Here's my. So okay, I'm gonna put up Levert. I'm gonna put up Levert, Sabonis, and Turner, and they'll put up Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, and Jokic. And then Indy's like, no, we're not dealing with Jokic. He goes and sits down. Oh, dude.
Aaron Gordon versus Levert. Oh, that'd be so easy win.
I love it.
Or can't score.
I love it. I'm totally here for it. You telling me you all wouldn't want that more than a 4th overtime with a 4-2 5-minute quarter because nobody can.
Unless they pull a Ted Cruz versus Jimmy Fallon where they're so tired they can't do anything.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Michael, what do you get? You got some quick thoughts on soccer penalty kicks? Yay, nay? What would you fix them?
I love penalty kicks. Yeah. They are dramatic. They set up suspense. That thrill, when your team either hits the clutch shot or makes the clutch the clutch save. It goes both ways. It's drama and suspense. Who cares what the purists say? Unwritten rules. We were just talking about that with baseball. So who cares? It's fun. It's entertaining. And honestly, that's what a lot of sports are about. Yeah, it's competition, but it's also for entertainment. It's more fun to watch. Let it be fun to watch. Yeah. And I know I'm saying this as an American talking about football. The Americans just don't get it.
Yeah,
but I mean, I played soccer a lot when I was a kid. That was probably the best thing was penalty kick practice. Mm-hmm. It's you versus your goalie.
Yeah.
One mano a mano. And you had to go out there and you had to trick him, you had to fool him, and you had to get that clutch shot in. And it's just a lot more fun. And also I want to add something to the other overtimes you were talking about. I don't care much for the whole overtime thing in the NFL or anything like that. Field goal kicker, whatever. College rules overtime is one of the best. It's the best way. Every football game should end that way. Because it's fun, it's entertaining.
You try to score quick every time.
Mm-hmm. Imagine seeing that. Imagine seeing those rules implemented at the NFL level with guys. I mean, imagine watching Arizona. You want to face Arizona in overtime from the 25-yard line with the game on the line? You have to just guard DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray. Nah, I'll pass on that. Thank you. I already guarded them for 4 quarters and we ended up tied. Please, I don't want any more. But that's exactly I would 100% be down for going to college rules. And yeah, like I said, watching these NFL offenses operate from basically the red zone and then going out and out. I would so be here for it. That's a lot better to me than. Thank God, at least they at least wised up and got rid of the field goal wins it from the first, like when you're the first team to possess it, you
Yeah.
get a field goal win. That was just garbage. At that point, overtime literally was decided by the coin flip. Like there was there's no strategy to it. There was no like,
we're gonna take the ball and score.
We're oh, so good. So good. So classic. Never one of the best sound bites ever. All right. I think let's get to our picks of the week and then we'll wrap this sucker up, guys.
Sounds good to me.
Almost another week down. Tade, kick us off for picks of the week, bud.
Okay. I'm going to go USA over Canada in the Gold Cup matchup. So it could be a tie. It could be Canada wins or US wins. I'm going to go US wins. So round 3 shot here. Also US wins.
I like it.
Sunday.
So if it's a tie, you lose.
Yeah. If it's a tie, I still lose.
Gotcha.
I'm going full win. Full send it. I think Canada sucks.
Full send. I like it. Michael, what you got?
See, I am going to go in a slightly different route. I'm going to go with, I'm trying to remember. It's going to be the Angels' next upcoming series whenever Shohei Ohtani pitches. Because the big thing I want to see is how did the home run derby affect his swing? Because so far, Vladimir Guerrero is picking up right where he left off, right?
Yeah, he got 2 homers.
Yeah,
but he didn't participate in the home run derby. Yeah,
exactly. The big knock against the home run derby for these big time power hitters, your top tier hitters, is how it negatively impacts their swing during the course of the season. Sure. So it doesn't have it listed when he's going to pitch next, and it's really freaking annoying. So I'm just going to pick the next Angels game.
There you go. That's fine.
So I'm going to go Angels. Well, the next on Tuesday.
There you go. The next game he'll be in the. I mean, if you're curious about his swing and his bat, I wouldn't look for the next time he starts. I would just look for the next game because obviously.
Yeah, but also his arm. He pitched in the All-Star game. Put a lot of torque in on it on the home run derby. Like I want to see how this is going to impact him, and if he's going to continue on this skyward trajectory. And especially if Mike Trout comes back here in a little bit, like how is this team going to finally make a playoff run like Chris down here predicted during our MLB pre-show? But that's what also makes this game very, very particular, because remember, I picked the Athletics to win that division, and I'm going to take the Athletics to win this game on Tuesday. I'm going to take them. I'm going to go 5-3 on that one. Oakland Athletics.
All right, Athletics to lose. Got it. Bet.
All right.
I will place your bets on the Angels on Tuesday. I'm just leaning into it now. I'm leaning into it now.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm going with the game to watch of the weekend. Game 5 NBA Finals series tied at 2 back in Phoenix tomorrow night, Saturday night. If you're watching this on Saturday, it'd be later tonight. And you know what? I expect Phoenix to get back to what they looked like in games 1 and 2 back in Phoenix. Monty Williams is too smart and too good of a head coach. If you've listened at all with the way he's talked to his players, during timeouts and post-game stuff, I mean, he's not panicking at all. And I think that's so crucial, especially for a young team like this, that doesn't have their own playoff experience to hang their hats on. You've got to remember, DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker this is their first time in the playoffs at all. And they're in the finals 2 games away from winning the whole chip. So, I mean, they've got to be, they're human beings. They've got to feel all kinds of things, nervous and anxious. And especially now losing 2 games in a row that, it's easy to kind of hang your head after something like that. But I think Monty Williams has them in the right mindset. And it's pretty easy to look, and I'm not trying to diminish what Milwaukee did, because they did what they had to do in games 3 and 4 and tie the series back up and win. Those were both, as I said earlier, those were both must-win games for Milwaukee, because if they had lost either of those games, you're coming back to Phoenix in game 5, staring down elimination. So kudos to Milwaukee. They did what they had to do. But Phoenix, like I said, especially with game 4, the way it played out, they've got to feel as good as you can after a loss. Because you're on the road It's tough. It's a tough environment. You only ended up losing by 6. 2 of your big 3 really didn't have the games we're needing from them. And Chris Middleton dropping 40 in the same game. I mean, the odds of those happening again are pretty slim. So Phoenix has to feel as good as you can feel after losing 2 straight games on the road and coming back home. They got to get a breath of fresh air, feeling good coming back home. And the series is tied. It's not like they're out of it. And it's not like, again, like I said, Phoenix did what they had to do in games 1 and 2. Milwaukee did what they had to do in games 3 and 4. We're setting up for a great finish to this finals. I couldn't be more excited. It's fantastic. So I'm going to roll with Phoenix. They scored 118 points in games 1 and 2 in Phoenix. So they're going to hit the trifecta. I'm going to go 118-102. I think Phoenix just blows them out in that back home in Phoenix. I think they're going to feel good. And I don't think we'll get a 40-point explosion from either Giannis or Chris Middleton. And if they're not getting 40 from one of those guys, that makes it that much tougher to beat a team like Phoenix. So I'm full send on Phoenix. I think they'll have game 5 back home in the bag. So it should be a fun one though.
Chris, you can't fit a game in a bag like that. That's not possible.
Watch him.
Looks
Mary
like
Poppins.
Milwaukee's
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Watch him.
Watch him do it, Chris. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Giannis even fits in a bag, my man.
Dude. I don't know. Hey, he's been reaching in his bag these past few games, man.
Bag of goodies.
Pulling out some tricks.
His bag of goodies includes a bell his girlfriend gave him, Chris, and we know what that bell does.
He can do it. It's his bag. What are you talking about? It's his bag. He can reach in there all he wants.
Michael gets it.
What is happening? What is happening here?
Nobody watches.
I'm so confused.
Reddit a lot. Not just me.
It's just Tade. I just tune him out when he gets like this. It's all good. So
what does OJ watch for sports? Does he still watch football?
Oh my God.
I watch his juice.
All right. So we have 3 different sports to keep your eye on this coming week. So Michael going with the Athletics to beat the Angels to kick off the second half of the MLB season. Tade going full Patriot, going Team USA to beat Canada in the Gold Cup. And I am taking Phoenix back home in Game 5 in the NBA Finals, taking that crucial 3-2 lead. And so we will recap those and talk about everything that happens in the next 7 days. 7 days from now, we will see you all next week.
It's probably going to be a little bit different, Chris. We want to talk about this right now, or do we want to surprise people?
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We don't have enough. We don't got it all ironed out just yet. So we'll see. But we may have something in store for you. We may be reaching in our own bag of tricks this coming week. So stay tuned. Michael and I will keep you guys updated on the Twitters. Tade would if he believed in social media. So
Thank you.
don't worry, Tade. We got
His
you.
social media is draft
part
games.
for you. It's great because there's no social or media of that. Like,
I got a YouTube too. Everything's the same. Title 5, all good.
Title 5. Go find them on all the things that aren't exactly social media. There you go.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that just about wraps it up for this week's edition of the MCT Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next time.